weather. If it's snow, rain, or storms, it provides a simple backdrop for most of our cutscenes and gameplay in RPGs. Weather can be very subtle or very important. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to set up a weather system very similar to this one. However, you may be wondering how I set this up, how many scripts it might take to get a weather system working for multiple maps. Well, what you'll be pleased to know is that this weather system is not that complicated. In fact, this entire weather system is made up of one simple event. Passing line. Hello again, everybody. This is your friendly neighborhood passive line here with the second video tutorial. This one will be about how to create a looping weather event. I honestly believe eventing is much easier than scripting, and any chance you get, eventing will help you in the long run. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got a little bit of a taste here for what the eventing layout is going to look like. It looks a little complicated, it's very colorful, but I'll guide you guys through it, and it should be pretty easy. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to open up your new map, where you want your eventing, or you want your weather to be, and go ahead and pick an easy spot to remember where it's going to be at. Make sure you always name it, it's really going to help. So we're going to call this Weather Looping Event. Okay, now, first things first, make sure the trigger is set to parallel process. That's very important. It will not work unless it is set to parallel process. Priority doesn't really matter. I usually keep things below characters. And that should be good. Make sure it has no graphics, that way it remains invisible to the player. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to bring up the event commands, and you want to go to the second page and go to Set Weather Effects. Alright, so let's say you want to do rain. You want to start as a sunny day, and it slowly picks up into a full-blown storm. So the way to do that is you click on the rain here, and here we're able to adjust the power of the weather. And so since we're going to make it gradually increase, we're going to start off as low as it can go, at 1. Now, with time, that's pretty much up to you what you want to do, how long you want this to take. If you want it to be a really good, complex weather event, then you're going to want to go a lot longer than you think you should. Keep in mind that one frame is 60 seconds. So let's say the number I've been using right now is 500. It produces a pretty clean, pretty smooth transition. But again, you can set this to whatever you want. It can take however long you want. Check it, make sure that wait for completion is checked, and that's going to allow this to run its full course without the rest of the commands running into each other. So you're going to hit OK, and you can just copy this and paste it right there, and then you're going to edit it, and now we're going to pump it up to 2, and keep the same time. And copy and paste, bumped up to 3. And you can keep doing this all the way to 9. It really depends on how smooth you want to make the transition, how much time you want to put into this, whether or not you want it to be faster or slower. It's completely up to you. So we're going to keep this going. Let's say we just want to bump this now up to 7. It picks up a little faster. And then we'll take this one to 9. Now, once it's at 9, we're going to make this transition into a storm. So usually what I like to do is I like to keep it at around 6 or 7 when you start out with the storm. Keep the same time frame for it, and then keep going. And we'll go ahead and take it to 9. Alright, now you've got your full-blown storm, and it went from small rain to a full storm. But of course, with any storm, you want to have in some lightning, some thunder and lightning in there. So what you want to do is you want to find some spots in your storm that you would like to have lightning and kind of event in the lightning there. So you're going to go ahead and right-click on one of them and click Insert, and this is going to place it right before that storm command. And you're going to go down to Flash Screen. And I actually don't change anything here. This is a pretty good lightning type flash, what it gives you to start with. Make sure it's wait for completion is checked, and this is pretty good. So we're going to keep that, and we're going to put it wherever we want it, pretty much. Alright, so now you've got your storm, you've got some lightning, but now you want to back down the rain to come down a little bit, because this whole thing is meant to loop, which means we've got to get it back to where it started. So, you pretty much just copy and paste everything in reverse. Okay, so now you've got your rain, it turns into a storm, and then it backs down to more rain. Now, RPG Maker VX Ace comes equipped with some really nice sound effects to help accompany this rain and storms. And this is saying that, you know, if you don't want to create your own custom storm sounds, VX Ace has some good stuff that actually times up very well with this. So you're going to want to go ahead and insert, and it's going to be under Play Background Sound. And it's going to be, as you guessed it, rain. And you can adjust this however you want. Now, what I use with volume and pitch is, as the storm progresses, I raise the pitch and I raise the volume. So it sounds like there's more water droplets hitting the ground at the time. So you can kind of play around with that. It really is up to you how you want to make this work. But you start off, you know, very subtle, very low at first. And then you just copy it and paste it where you want it, where the rain picks up. And then you can increase the volume a bit and raise the pitch. And you can keep that going throughout here. Now with the lightning flashes, you're going to want to insert a sound effect. So we go down here to play sound effect. And we go all the way down to thunder. And here are our thunder sounds. Now, a few of these I think sound too much like skills that a player would use and not quite like actual thunder. So you gotta kind of find the right ones. One isn't too bad. And you got, you know, thunder sounds here, which of course you can also adjust any which way you want. So really, you can take one thunder sound and stretch it out in various different ways to create some really different things. Always good to keep in mind what you can do as far as sound design is concerned with RPG Maker VX Ace. A lot of things they give you, you can really twist and pull to make some interesting sounds. Same goes for the music too. So we're just gonna go ahead and take the first thunder sound, keep it the way it is normally, and just kind of insert it in there where we want it. There we go. And of course, you're going to copy and paste these down here as well. And of course, you'll have a method for doing this once you go through it with some semblance of order. But this is just a basic idea, a basic outline of how you do it. So now you've pretty much got a pretty good looping weather effect. Again, I just kind of threw this together, so chances are it's probably going to turn out a little funny and would need a lot of tweaking. But I already have one that I have tweaked. So this is just showing you how I set this up. But the one that I would really use is the one that I spent some time on to get it just right, the way I wanted it. And that's a very steady progression of rain, and including sound effects. And I even have thunder that kind of rumbles in the background and eventually produces the flashes that you'll see on screen. And then it goes back down to normal, and then it all loops again. You do not have to set any kind of loops up when you're doing this. If it is set to parallel process, the event will do it itself. It'll loop continuously. And yes, the weather event will carry out across multiple maps. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean by that. So, as you can see, this weather event does not stop. It loops, and it continues to loop across all maps. If I had more maps here, it would still do the same thing. So, like any good tutorial should be, once I've shown you how to turn this on, I must show you how to turn it off. So let's say you want to enter your next map, and you do not want the weather to carry over. Let's say this next map was somewhere indoors. So what you want to create then is an event that is going to stop this weather. It's going to break the loop. And here is all you need to do is just have a simple event made. I call this event weather off. You're going to want to set the weather effects to none, and then you're going to want to change whatever background sound is being played. For this example, I have the next area of the map is out at sea, so I have a background sea sound going on. But you can just set that to none and stop all sounds completely. What this is going to do, though, is it's going to stop the rain from playing in the background. Play sound effect none is going to stop any thunder from playing in case thunder was happening while you were transferring over. And then you're going to want to hit break loop, and that's going to break the innermost loop and kind of set everything to 0. So there you go. Make sure you hit apply, hit OK, and when the player enters this area, all weather should stop. And let me go ahead and show you. Now yes, when you come back to the original map, the weather event will start once again. Now, if this entire map is going to have its own weather system to it, of course you can make the time for sunshine a lot longer. But it is completely controlled by you, and it loops on its own. Now, let's say you only wanted the rain to occur for one portion of the game. And when the player leaves the map and comes back to it, you don't want that same weather looping pattern. Let's say you want it to change and turn to snow or something like that. You're going to want to, at the very end of your weather looping, at the very end of the event where the player is able to leave the map that you're using, you're going to want to add in something, a bit of a switch to change this. So you're going to want to go to control switches. You're going to want to go to control switches, and you just want to activate whichever switch it is. For the use of this tutorial, we'll just use switch 1. Switch 1 turns on when the player leaves the map. Make sure this is before the player leaves. Very important, or else it will not activate. Apply that. So now, switch 1, we go here and create a new event page, and we're going to call this one switch 1. So now when switch 1 activates, it'll stop using this page and will start using this page, which has absolutely nothing on it, which means all weather will be turned completely off and will not function. That's only when the player leaves the map and comes back. Let me go ahead and save that for you, and we're going to test it out. And there you go. That is the basic weather eventing tutorial. You can make that as simple and as complex as you want, but these are just the basics. Now we got a little bit into some complex eventing there with switch activation, and if that was a little confusing to some people, I apologize. I believe I should make a tutorial on that. In fact, that may be my next tutorial, is complex eventing. How to create really cool cutscenes and the like with switches and various things. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with that. Please rate this video, comment, subscribe. If you haven't checked out my first tutorial, it can be found by this annotation link here. And it's going to take you to my video which will explain how to install the Japanese script Takentai for Ace and how to get it into your game and functioning in English. Please subscribe and wait for more videos in the future. If you guys have any ideas for things I should do tutorials on, please send me a comment or send me a message through my inbox. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and that's pretty much it. Alright, until next time, this has been your friendly neighborhood passive lion, signing out.